Oh, hey, they won't get there. Lati eat te uda. Oh, hey, they won't get there. Lati eat te uda. That's the hello, all my relatives. It's good that you all have come here. It's a pluralized word. It's good that you guys have come. Okay, we're gonna go there. Connie, is your voice okay today on that deal?
I don't know. You tell me.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me, sis?
Can you hear? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. Loud and clear.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Good deal.
Excuse me. Lati eat. Lati eat. No. This is a man's way to say, oh, hey, they won't get it. Lati eat te uda. And the woman, all you change out is this. And then
Do you have a whiteboard up? Oops, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to share it. Let me shut it.
Ahoy, Adnia.
Who the mambliho?
What am I playing?
The iman khawiblahan. The iman khawiblahan. You, thank you for asking. Okay, right here, you guys see that? This is like a greeting you could use. Ho, hey, they won't get it. Dati eat the uda. And then you women say, Datia, hey, they won't get it. Dati eat the uda. You don't have a woman, you can say this just like a man. You can say that just like a man. Hey, they won't get it. That means all of my relatives, all my relations. And you're gonna hear some people, some punkers will say, "Hey, de we wita." But when you say it like that way, "Hey, de we wita," that just means all my family. That literally means my family, just your family, no one else. So that doesn't mean all my relatives. That just means my family. Hey, de we wita. Or you hear some people say, "Hey, we de wongi de." Hey, we they won't get a all of them you could get away with saying all my relatives though everyone even that for other one people will still understand you. But this is the woman's way. All you do, women, is you put that you change out this for this. Zatia, hey, they won't get a zatia te uda.
How does your car?
My keys are over there. Does everybody got this wrote down? Look for them.
I'm good.
I've got
Here.
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Ede wangi de.
Oh. Leah. Call down there, see if they're having that class at 7. I texted her, she didn't answer me back. Hey, they want to say, do bakuma. Can you guys still see it? Can y'all still see the
It,
whiteboard?
Yeah.
it's a little cut off, but I can see it.
Hang on, I'm just trying to see who's all here. Does everybody got a dictionary that's on here tonight?
No, I don't have one yet.
No, I do not either.
I do though.
Garrett, translate this, Garrett.
Okay, I gotta open up the whiteboard 1 moment.
Okay.
Tatia.
Oh. We're just doing so I'm gonna go back, Robin, real quick after we do this one. This right here say Shay Doot Bacombla. Shay Doot Bacombla. Are you ready, Garrett?
Yeah. Yes.
Translate that to English.
So with some in there, is I want some apples? Is that plural or is that singular?
It's
I want it.
singular.
Okay, so I want an apple.
You can still translate it. I want some apples, though.
Okay.
You can still translate it like that.
If that was to become a command, it would have a GA on the end of it. Kadugaga.
You would have to change it all like this way. It'd be go like this way.
Okay.
Go though. It couldn't be this way.
Okay.
It's not possible that way. And if you say that, she do, but want some apples. And that just means want some apples. And if you really wanted to say apples plural, you would say it like this way. Say it, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Kabla, is that a proper, polite way of saying that I want something?
In Ponca, there's no real polite way.
Okay.
It's proper.
All right.
It's proper though. You're making a statement saying you want some apples.
Okay.
Without saying shade to do become. When you say it like this, well, you already know it's going to be translated. I want some apples because it doesn't make sense. I want some apple.
Right.
I'm trying to find that thing. They got a deal on here showing what do you call it? This.
I was asking because in French, if you use just the verb to want, if you were to say je veux du lapin, I want an apple, it's rude if you go into a restaurant and order. So you would say je voudrais, which is a conditional form, which is saying I would like instead of a command that I want something. That's why I was asking, because in France, people get insulted if you ask in the wrong way.
Not the same way.
Okay.
So Igor, could you say something like, Shedita Kabdwa? Like, I want your apple? Like you're trying to like say, give me your apple?
Just like that. Shedita Gombla. Yes, you can. See, you got this starting to pick it up. You're starting to see it in your mind. You guys are starting to get it for damn sure. I like that.
Eagle, could you say Shedon Kompla?
If you say shade on, you said, I want you're the apple. It won't make sense.
Doesn't Don, isn't that the article that means like something round?
Yeah, but how does it pertain here? The only place it'll pertain here is, look, let me show you, Barbara.
Okay.
This is why I said when I'm teaching you guys, you're not there yet. It would go here. It does not go shade on. It goes, you say shade, dictado. They teach a little bit of in that book that Uncle Mark he did. Because it's in there. Some of it's in there. When they start teaching it, when you got, like I was telling you guys last night, possessive pronoun, article, where they get combined right here. You could say zita, zita ma, zita ma. All these different things in there. Zita dinke. I'm on the phone. I mean, go in there. Go on, go. Hurry up, go. So right here, this right here, it's correct. It's the same way as this. It's still correct either way. But now you're giving a description. Because there might be apples that might be cut in half. They might be put in fourths, thirds, quartered up. But when you say ditala, it's a specific apple. It's the one that's still whole. I love you too. Go. Come on there, baby. Go. Go in there. One. And so anyway, do you see now? Barbara?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Now, what she was talking about, she was thinking about it like this. It won't work. But you guys, like I said, we're not there yet for you guys to see all this where we're at. I mentioned it about adding something back here. But you're not there just yet. We're doing simple sentence like we talked about. Some of you guys, I talked to you already. But it's different. And then if you pluralized it, like I was telling you, when you say some, you could put shade dupa. But when you say it like this way, you guys all have a deal of saying what these articles mean. So right here, what is this doing? You already know this means I want. You already know this part right here means your apple. So what does it mean here? You already know, without this, it means I want your apple. So what does it mean now that I put this here? Leah, get her.
Are you showing a whiteboard? Because I can't see it.
Can you guys see this?
I cannot.
Turn your whiteboards on.
Yeah, I don't have the option, so.
Oh my gosh, I just knocked it off now.
Now I can see it.
Thank you.
Okay, earlier, okay, you guys couldn't see this, so I'm going to re-show it to you. And earlier, what Barbara was talking about, she was talking about it being this way. And when it's this way, all that means is the apple. And if you want to get technical, it means the round apple. But in Ponca, we don't have to. You already know that. I done told you guys. I gave you the descriptions of all these articles. It's round or globular, circular, and it's singular. It could be animate or inanimate. Right here. Hold on, let me change the color. And now right here, I asked you guys, what does it mean when you say "she dictate compla"? And then earlier it said "she dictano compla." I'm gonna redo it. That's ugly. Just bear with me.
Okay.
They're different here and here. Look over your notes before you answer it. Like I said, don't guess at it. When you're guessing, I mean, it's like you don't even have a clue. You're not willing to even look at your notes, what you learned, or the materials that you already got. Because some of you got all the materials in the world to be a fluent speaker. You just don't know how to use them yet.
Eagle,
Yeah.
does the second one mean I want your apples because Taya's telling you it's plural?
That's correct.
And it's plural for the apples, not for the your. If Chris and I had an apple and somebody wanted our apple, it would be se vivita cabla, right?
Say it again slow.
Se vivita cabla.
You could say it like that way too. Both ways are correct. But it also pluralizes it right here.
But is it plural for the your or plural for the apple, I guess is what I'm asking.
Right here, this is plural for the apples.
Okay.
This right here is plural for what you possess.
Okay.
So either one of them would still be correct using it.
Okay. Well, what would you do though if it was Chris and I sitting there and it was our apple, so it was two people's apples? Does that make sense? Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm making up stuff. I'll just shut up now.
No, you got a good question.
Huh?
Okay.
So the first one, sedita da Done.
Shaitan gutama.
That verb prefix meaning mouth. Is that
Which
like
one
saying
which one you on, Jonathan?
the first one?
The verb, the only verb we have here on here is this. This right here is a noun, and it's also the subject. This right here is a possessive pronoun. This here is an article. Art. Possessive. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And Robin, that mute button worked.
I thought you'd like that.
I did. I liked that. It was real easy to mute it. Jonathan, are you understanding it?
I understand the second one that has the T on it. I in my list of notes, I have the D cross nasalized A listed as mouth under verb prefixes.
No. On there's no verb prefix as a.
So what does the D cross A in this context mean?
It's an article. It means the. It means the, something that's round, something that's globular, something that's circular, something that's singular. It could be animate or inanimate.
Okay.
No, brother, I can't remember. Do you got a dictionary?
It was part of the articles that we covered.
Yes. But I can't remember. Did you have a dictionary, Jonathan?
I do.
I can't remember. Look in there in the D's real quick so we can make sure. Because remember, there's some things that aren't in there.
I may have put that in the wrong place if I was copying things fast. And it could be a mistake on my part. It's important to know if I made a mistake.
Can you just look at a dictionary to see?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, it says in the dictionary, D cross nasalized A. There are two listings. The first is a prefix, action done by mouth or by biting. So that was correct.
Let me look at it. Hang on.
That's without the nasalized A, though.
That's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
With the nasalized A, it's saying the.
And then
It is,
the nasalized A, that's a verb prefix. Without the nasalized A, is a verb prefix.
That's where I was. Okay. So where I was messed up is there's an acute accent on the prefix and there's a grave accent on the article.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I did not have that listed as an article, but I did not. So
Yeah.
that was something I overlooked. Sometimes my mind is on something. These chemotherapy drugs make me a little lightheaded sometimes, so please forgive me.
Listen, I make mistakes every day. Listen, that's the thing. That's what we're here for, is to learn. And
Yeah.
even me, I learn from you guys. You know, like I said, there's some things that, like Jonathan, there's a lot of people translate some of this stuff, but the way you said it that one day was different than any that I've ever heard, whether they're Ponca or Omaha. So right here, we're talking in the D with the D slash in it. The prefix is action done by the mouth or by biting, and that's correct. But there's a regular vowel of the A. The A vowel is there. It's not nasalized. Now, the D with a nasalized A is used in nouns to describe body parts, also used for circular objects that can be either singular or plural, animate or inanimate. Even though it ain't in it, it means that. I know it means that. But, yeah. Okay, back to these sentences here. Now that we got that, do you understand it, Jonathan?
I do.
Okay, translate it.
Me?
Yeah.
I want your round apple.
Okay, and like I said in Ponca, we won't do that. This is the descriptive word. So when you say that, when you use that word, I want your apple. When you say shade, okay, whatever apples that guy has, they're either cut up, half, smashed, not whole, but the apple that he does have is round. That's the apple that he wants. It's a descriptive word.
So in this case, I would say I want the round apple.
No, when you translate it, you would just say you want the apple.
I want the apple. Okay.
Hang on. Give me 1 second, guys. Just 1 second.
So I think it's just, Jonathan's, the way I'm understanding it is that it's just describing the apple, but you don't have to like say it out loud. It's just a descriptor and adjective. That's what I'm hearing Eagle say. So I don't know if I'm saying that right, but instead of just saying I want the round apple, it's you already see the apple that he has. You're just describing it, describing the piece. But he knows you're saying I want the apple.
And I get the impression that you would never use that unless there were apples in various states. So if you had a cut apple and a round apple, you're saying I want the apple, but he's going to know it's the one that's uncut because you use the.
Right.
Does that make sense? Is that how y'all are taking it too? Okay.
It does make sense. So there's a difference between what's said verbally and what's written, and that's not uncommon. So the description in what's written gives you all of the specific clues if you cannot see the apple, but if you're looking at the apple, you don't need those specific clues. So to say, I want the apple, as you're communicating it, but if you're reading it in a book, then all of that description is there, and that makes perfect sense. Is that correct?
This will wait for Eagle, but it's not, I guess in my experience, it's not necessarily that's the case. One thing we got to remember is that there's no literal translation between English and Ponca because it's two different mindsets. And you got to remember that Ponca it's more descriptive. It's more about the context, and English is more just, I don't know, best way to say it is flat and dry and more, I don't know, it's it is, like I said, the best way to say it is lacking. And so you having that context of that don can be, it's, for us in Ponca, it's more, you would use it, I guess, because it's descriptive. In our mind, we're describing and looking what's all around us like it's important. And in English, things have gotten so they're not important, and so Miko could probably explain it better, but you would use don without in just a regular speaking about, I want the apple, or if there's an apple and an orange there, I would she don compra, or seizi don compra. You want the apple, you want the orange. So your thes are going to describe what you're looking at or the state that it's in, and that's just part of our normal speech because we're descriptive. Our language is a lot more fuller. That's the difference of, you can't, it can't go straight across that this word is the same thing in English, because the English mind thinks different than we do in Ponca. So
Yeah.
maybe Eagle has a better way of explaining that. But
I would say, like, it's the difference, Jonathan, between like literally translating something and interpreting something. Where your translation is you're trying to go word for word, where when you're interpreting, it's just what the meaning is being conveyed, when you're speaking. That's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I understand how those are working. English is thought of as being the most descriptive and detailed language that exists, and it's why it's so complex. The forms are not the same in Ponca as they are in English, and the usage is not the same. In the Congo, there are many differences. So, this is really closer to how sometimes the language is used in French. And what I was saying is there's a difference between what is written and what is spoken. In this particular case, the article is being very descriptive, which we don't have articles like that in English, which is absolutely true, Angie. So I understand that. All this is relatively new to me. The description is much different grammatically as it is expressed in English as compared to any other language, really. So it's interesting, certainly interesting. It puts a lot more emphasis on the articles instead of just being, the articles which we are familiar with, that we use all the time.
What do you guys think on it?
Well, there's a lot of emphasis on the
Eagle,
article
maybe
in a sentence as far as description is concerned. And I'm finding that is something which is really important in Ponca. So that's something that I'm really going to have to, become very familiar with.
I didn't get to hear all you guys' discussion as part of it. That was one of our Ponca elders, one of our roadmen that called, and he asked me if I was going to come down there. They said that they need help down there, and I told him, I said, I'm teaching a class, and I told him that I was going to take you guys down there. we're not going to leave until probably about another, about 45 after, and there's supposed to be a lot of Ponca coming there, and he asked me to come down there and look on with you guys, and I told him I would, and I told you guys too, right, Sean?
Yeah.
I told
Yeah.
some of you guys have been coming ahead of time.
With this. Yeah.
And so, reason I'm staying a little bit later, I mean, I could leave now, but I'm about 98% on my charge on my laptop. So that way, when we go there, we're going to be there at least an hour. And And when I got these mic plugged in and stuff, it dies a little faster. So we might have about an hour and 10 minutes. It might carry on to 8:30. I don't know, but there's supposed to be elders there, so you'll hear people talk Ponca. You'll hear people tell about stories or cultural. And most of the men there are going to be good singers. Tell you about our different societies, our different organizations we got there, the affiliations of our what they call Monkanti, or some people call it Monkanvate, or Miedant Miwachi, or Hedushka, Nyashigama, or Palata, or scalp dance. A lot of different things there, and I don't know what they're going to talk on tonight. And oh, Angie, I just see you're on there. Angie, I got a question for you. Did you get my text?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry I hadn't had a chance to respond back to you here.
Did you guys want to participate in that, or you got to talk to your counsel, or was you wanting to do your own?
I got to talk to them for sure, but I mean, the idealistic way is that we should be, combining our efforts and working together rather than separately. But that's all up to you can be in agreement and on stuff. You know what I mean? So I can give Carla a call and find out.
Okay, well down here they're going to pay that whole $69,000. They just wanted to know if you wanted to donate them, because I told them about my blood grandfather, Henry Lieb. He did some recordings for you guys, and even though they're on the internet and all that other stuff, I said it'd be appropriate to ask you guys, because if you guys had him do that, remember? I don't know if you're on council then though, but it was through the Osni Ponca.
Yeah, I wasn't on council, but yeah, I know the recordings we're talking about. Yeah.
And I didn't know if you wanted to do that or we'll use these, but my thing, what I wanted to do was include you all, and Carla, being one of our council members and being our secretary treasurer, she said she thought it'd be a good idea. But even though when you guys came down a while back, I give you guys a little history of what I'm talking about. Angie Starkle, I really got a lot of admiration for her when it comes to the language. She came down as one of their 9 council members that came down here, and we called a meeting for the language to unite on it. None of our council came. I'm not talking bad on them, but none of them came on that Saturday. And I felt bad, but some of our fluent speaking elders did. And they're real modest. Some of them even tell you, well, I'm not a fluent speaker, but that's just how they are. They're not going to tell you that they're a fluent speaker. They'll never admit to that, but they are. And I believe that we had a good positive talk. But I think this is a step forward by me talking to Carla about that. Because we had a meeting today with I'm not bound. Go in there, son. I'm not bound by no any type of disclosure with them, so I could talk freely. Because when I do work for them, I get paid the same amount I get paid here, but I freelance with them, but I'm not bound by any disclosures so I could talk openly about what I'm going to talk about. I did that language app, and if the Ponca of Nebraska do decide to do one, and they let me help them, I would like to do that, because down here they rushed me. Down here, some of it's political. It's just like it's political up there, and I didn't get to help. And then none of our other fluent speakers wanted to help because of the politics involved, and so they didn't. And then the last minute, before we lost it, they gave it to me, and I believe I did a brilliant piece. But I could have done so much more better if we had an opportunity. And so, if you guys decide to do that in Nebraska, I think that would be good too, because I got some for real stuff we could do, and like for the language committee and you and even Dre to look at, like I said, because I tell these guys, we got to have a look at each other's stuff, and you look on it, you can see that Umaha got an app, 2 of them actually, and on that one app, it's a test. It's all about tests, and I got 100 on every one of them but one. That's because the few times that I did fail, it's because I can't write like them. And so anyway, it's all about memorization on writing the Umaha way. And if you don't get it wrong, just like if we build that app, with a Ponca, and we use the same our same writings that we got. And if you mess up on it, it's going to count against you. But back to what I was saying, though, it'd be good if you guys would want to do that. But if you don't want to do that, either way is good. If you want to donate those things that my grandpa Henry had, even though we got copies of them, I don't know if they were copyrighted. So I told her to talk to you, and we got a whole bunch of stuff here too. But I just feel like we should combine on this. But I'm not nobody. Sean, go ahead, sister.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's, we really should be combined on it. But I'll give her, I'll reach out to her and talk to her about it, and we'll follow up on it. So that part. And just to have a recap of what, while you were gone, what we talked about was that there was discussion about that, the article means it's round, it has a shape, they were talking about the translation in English where you wouldn't say round, and there was a discussion of thinking that you only say that article depending on if there was multiple states of that apple. So for like example, get it smash, cut, or the whole round apple. But I explained to him that you can't do a literal translation across to English, and having that article is important even if there's not multiple types of apples there. So like if we had both an apple and an orange, if we ask for the apple or ask for the orange, we're still going to add that bon on there.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and that's important for me to know, because what I'm beginning to understand is that the descriptive adjectives are actually included in the article. In English, you would use descriptive adjectives to advance the proposition of the sentence.
You're correct.
And in the article, the descriptive adjectives are included in the article, which is something I have never seen before. So it's starting to click. But thank you, Angie, for bringing, because I did not necessarily understand it as clearly as I do now. So I want to thank you for pointing that out to me.
And like she said, you don't have to say that. And if you were to say, I want the round apple, that changes it.
Yeah.
Hang on, I hit the wrong one. Udishan buta. In Ponca, that's how we say round. And some people might say udi son buta. But if you're talking about to call it round in English, because like I told you in that article, you don't have to say round, because when you know Ponca, you already know right then and there. From if we say dita ke, dita te, didita te, using all their or ditama, the apples, your apples. There's multiple ways to pluralize this, and so when you do that, I know in English you automatically you just want to say you want to talk like that, but it's not like that in our language. Sometimes, and like Angie said, she said one thing is sometimes there's some things, like I told you, it's hard to explain. You just know when you're talking Ponca or Umaha, and you try to put an English word to it. Sometimes it can't be put on there, but you could do your best to describe it using English words. That's the best I could say it on some of them.
Yeah.
And like I told you guys, when you say shadon, you can say that, but when you're talking about the apple or a single apple. But when you talk about plural apples, you can't use that word because it's not plural. And you got to learn how to use these articles in a correct way. And then when you put them possessive pronouns with an article, like I just showed you, ditate, diditate, ditake, you guys aren't ready for that yet. When we get there, we're building up to that. Even now, people are telling me, watching us, they're saying, brother, you're taking them a little bit too fast. But I'm telling you, this group, you guys are educated. A lot of you guys are really smart. I can see that because the way your minds are already starting to put these sentences to construct sense of your own. And once we do that, that's what I'm saying. Every day, start working on it. If you got free time, a lot of you, I know you work. When you got free time, listen, practice. And if you don't think they're right, when we're done, or when we come on that night or that whenever, You say, hey, I got this cents right. I mean, I'm saying, don't give me 50 cents. It's because you got to give everybody a chance to try to do something. You know, from Sean, Debbie, Robert, Garrett, Barbara, Angie, the Nevilles, Connie. We have to make room for everybody. But the thing is like I showed you last night in different exercises we're doing, I can see the ones that are picking up on it. And some of you are going to take a little bit more time, but that's why, like on Fridays, when I got that open door, if you're not doing nothing from 10 to 3, come on, let's work on it. And so that's what we have to do. We have to do our best on that. And sometimes some of you are going to be way more advanced than another, and then maybe you might be able to help them. And like I said, this is all about unity and trying to build trust with each other. But anyway, I'm gonna get ready to go, and it's gonna take me about 8 minutes to get there. Angie, you weren't here though, but anyway, our chairman down there, they got a language class and a culture class, and my uncle, they just called me, some of our directors, and anyway, I told them I'm gonna take these guys down, and I talked to Sean and Ricky about it, and so it's gonna take me 8 minutes to get there at the most because it's raining pretty good here. And so I'll be on there. You guys can still be on here and talk and start going over what we looked at. And then we're going to see what they have going on tonight. I don't know what it's going to be. I just seen it posted. I told them that it's like we're going on a field trip.
We all like field trips. We all like
Yeah. I seen that posted. So, you know, it's nice to have the opportunity to go to that if it's not, you know, not being on Facebook or anything like that. So appreciative of that.
I don't know, sister, I don't know nothing about it other than we're going to be on it. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is I'm going to be showing you guys through my phone. I'm going to bring my laptop too, but I'm also going to bring my phone because I'll be able to get better angles with it while I'm on there. And the Nevilles bought a microphone for me. You guys are going to hear everything. It's awesome. So bear with me. I'm going to just close this. Hold on real quick. Barbara, Connie. Sister Connie. Maybe she's not on there. Do any of you guys got the phone code on here, that extension to it? You guys got that extension to this?
I don't.
Hold on a second here. Meeting info extension is that what you mean? Like the 13507809?
7809.
Joining the meeting.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me on my phone?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm gonna head down there right now. Okay, so I'm gonna close my laptop.
Okay.
All right, I'll be over there just a second.
Barbara, can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Hi. It's Cash. C-H-E. The E in French is silent. Unless there's an accent aigu, which is called an accent, acute accent, or there's an AIS ending like in a conditional form. If it was
Okay, I've heard it pronounced before as cachet, so I wasn't sure which was correct.
No, that's absolutely not correct. Cash,
Okay,
because it has an
cash.
E on the end of the word, you know that it's a feminine noun. So if you were to use it, in with the article, it would be la cash instead of la cash. So
cash.
Cash.
Like cold hard cash.
Right.
Thank you.
So the one that I sent you, I thought you were asking me about chanter, which is to sing.
Oh.
Yeah, and that would be pronounced the same way. If I was to say je chante, meaning I sing, or tu chantes, you sing. Formal would be vous chantez, because in the formal, conjugation of that, you would have nous chantons, meaning we sing, or vous chantez. So there would be examples, and so that's why I was thinking that you had heard both, thinking that it was a verb. But cash being a noun would not change or be conjugated, it would just be cash.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for reminding that, because I found that I need to really start reviewing French. When I started getting into eels, chant, eels chant, and el chant, as you see in the message, A-I-E-N-T would have been the conditional, or, imparfait, and I confused that with the regular E-N-T ending, which that's what I was thinking about when I was talking about what is written and what is spoken, is like the A-I-E-N-T and those endings is not even pronounced in French, or the E-N-T. A lot of things are not pronounced in French, but they're written. So the difference between the written language being descriptive, it happens so different because there's so much emphasis on the verb and agreement with the article and the verb and the adjectives and everything, and the gender and everything has to agree with each other. Where I'm noticing in Ponca that there's really a lot of emphasis on the article. I've never encountered that before. So this is something that, obviously this is really helpful to me to begin to understand these things, because to be able to use it in a colloquial sense, you have to use those things correctly.
Yep.
But in French, most of the emphasis is on the verb. But if it's a noun,
Jonathan, do you mind?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Angie. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Oh, Jonathan, I was just curious. I apologize if you've expressed this before in other classes and I missed it. Are you a linguistic background, or just a lover of language, or just?
Strangely enough, I have an honors certificate from the language department at UNL, and I've never had above a B at French. Try to figure that out. They said it was my sense of humor that I made the class laugh, so they gave me in. So, I do that just by showing up sometimes. I've learned some Czech. I know a little bit of Lakota. I sing, so I'm familiar with a little bit of Italian. Other than that, no. I definitely, the funny thing is, as I get older, there's more interested in studying different languages, and the Ponca language is important to me to learn. I also have interest in going back and continuing, and going further with French and reviewing in Czech. I got an A+ in Czech, and I don't know why. I could say a few things, I don't remember most of it. I need to go back and review it. I can say Dobre večer, good evening, which may be appropriate in the Ukraine, but those poor people. But anyway, to answer your question, Angie, I cannot say that I have any solid linguistic background. I studied piano with George Rosenberg, he's the most amazing linguist I've ever been around. He graduated from the Vienna Conservatory when he was 19 years old with 4 master's degrees in music and spoke 14 different languages fluently. How he did that, I don't know. But I am certainly nothing like him. He could switch languages in the middle of a sentence. But I do have an interest. Thank you for asking. And you obviously, Angie, you have a lot of background with the language. More than I do. Angie, are you there?
I'm sorry, my baby was just trying to yell at me here. What was that last part? Just more what? Sorry.
You have a lot more experience with the language than I do. I'm a beginner at this. Even though I had some exposure and, with Mark Swedlund and stuff, like everything else, like the French, like the Czech, I've gotten away from it and I need to go back and begin to review it. And so I'm starting over again.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the infant stage myself still. It's sad to say, it's been over 15 years of, a little bit here and there in the classes with Lewis and Henry and Curtis Lieb. And, it's not until probably the last 5 years that I get more into it. And, really things started to click more than just one word. So, but I'm still very much I might be crawling. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the way that I feel. It's intimidating at first. And even languages, which I have quite a bit of background with, like French, I cannot carry a conversation on. I've never been able to really carry on a fluent conversation. Halfway there. And so, what I've noticed is you have to pretty much be immersed in the language to have any success with it. So, but I'm really, really happy to see that there is an interest in the Ponca language.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm better on written and reading than I am on speaking. And so, we're formulating my own sentences stuff. So that's really where I'm working at it and pushing myself, getting better, working on my accent so the sounds come out right. And formulating my own sentences, starting with, being able to pray and not just the standard prayer, but something that's really descriptive, So that's where I'm working my stuff on it. And then I just work with my daily stuff with my kids, the real life living stuff, So it's just, I keep working at it.
That's good. I noticed with French, I got very good at reading and writing, but not so good at speaking it. For a variety of reasons. There are sounds in French that don't exist in English, and liaison and a liaison, things, that don't exist in English, which are all new and made it difficult to understand when you're hearing somebody, so that makes it difficult to speak. I don't see so much that existing in Ponca. However, because I had a tendency of memorizing things by writing and becoming familiar with them that way, it interfered with the time that I was actually, using the language in a verbal kind of sense. So that's really the next place I need to go to, like you, is speaking the language more, because the writing and reading is not as difficult for me. But I think we learn that way because we are very visual learners, in a sense. And we're used to learning that way. But the Ponca way, there was never any writing. It was all verbal. So the
only writing that we had was when we did it on Buffalo House, the winter count and the summer count. Those were the only ones that we did with the designs or hieroglyphics like type on the walls. The Ponca, they say that we still got them up there. Maybe, I don't know, Sister Stacy Larvey up that we might know. Down here, us Poncas, we just know how to say stuff, but we don't know that land up there no more because, we've been down here 140 years at least. But that's one thing that I can't wait that our Language and Culture Committee told me, and we talked about, is they're going to take a tour on some of our old village sites and other things. And to me, that'd be awesome because, like I said, we've only heard of them.
Right.
And then when we've been told stories about them, but for us to know where they're at, we don't know a thing about it. Every one of us could be fluent speaking Ponca. It don't mean nothing if you say, well, hey, show us your old home site. Show us Numpawale or Hublan or Wayne. It doesn't mean nothing.
Well, you got to get up here more often.
Yeah.
And I got to get down there.
All right, I'm ready to pull in, so I might have to mute this for just a second. I don't know what's happening. All right. It's all muddy down here.
Anna. Oh, never mind. I got it here. Into my phone.
So, Robin, are you there, Robin?
I am.
You probably have some pictures, some interesting information of the family that maybe some of my sisters might be interested in, and we might have some pictures that maybe you might be interested in.
Yeah, probably. You probably have more pictures than I do at this point in time. I don't know how many Mom has old pictures. A lot of that was left at the house, and I think my cousin Gary has a good number of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see some of them and scan them, particularly since photography is one of my things, to clean up some of the pictures. If there is any damage, because that's something I do. So.
Oh yeah. Well, that would definitely be helpful, because some of the pictures that we have are kind of grainy looking.
Yeah. I've done some reconstruction work. It's fun. It's kind of time consuming, but it's worth it just to see, be able to put some stuff back together for people.
Yeah.
So, but I'd love to see some more of them. My mom was actually really curious and thought it was fascinating. So she seemed to think that Daniel's mom name was Hamilton. She remembered Rachel Hamilton being Daniel's grandmother, I should say, I think.
That name comes up a lot, Rachel. That was my mother's name, her first name.
Yeah. And I could almost,
yeah,
I could almost see if she had a sister, and if your grandmother had a sister named Rachel, that she would named her for her if they were close or something. It would make some sense. So.
Right. And two, if you want,
Hi, Rita.
I would like to send you a copy of Mark's book, because
Hi.
I think you would find it interesting.
Yeah, I think I would, and I'm sure my mother would as well.
It's an incomplete book. They're only about 40 pages. Most of it's historical, but there are a couple pages which are quite interesting.
My mother's quite the reader, so I'm sure she would find it fascinating.
Yeah.
She was intrigued that I ran into cousins.
Yeah.
I see that. Eagle, I'm sorry to interrupt. I see that Eagle has dropped off here, so he may have disconnected accidentally or something like that. But I don't know if Eagle's talked about it before. And sometimes some of these doings they'll be a little bit more strict than what maybe we're used to, and of like not. And granted, he just has a phone there, so it's not like sitting there in person or connected, but of sitting and being quiet and listening and not interjecting or asking questions. It's a little more strict, and I don't know if anybody's talked to you guys about that, just so that may be the case here as well. So at some point we'll probably have to mute ourselves and just depending on how Eagle gets it set up there.
Thank you.
It is good to know, Angie. Nobody had said anything, at least to some of us that are kind of distant.
Yeah, it's always good to be told that ahead of time than find out the hard way. So
It looks like he's back.
I'm not seeing him.
Wombly.
You'll pick up anything.
There
A friend of mine just bought it. They just bought it for me in North Carolina. Uncle Dwight said he was coming, huh? He called me and told me to come over. Buffalo Head. That's what he just told me. He told me to come over. We're just getting things started right here, so just you guys hang on, bear with us.
He's alive in there.
Somebody's microphone has TV in the background.
No, Barbara, I think that's just the noise from the room.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But we all may want to mute so we can hear it better.
go about it, didn't know how to do it. Didn't know how to find a way. My first initial thought was, that's when the VCR first come out. The VCR cameras and stuff like that. My first initial thought was, let's get one of those VCR. You know, how we together. Not too much, but top four. Then maybe one day, I heard get some computers or recorders or something and plug it in. Kids, children, and put earphones on and look at it just with the talk. That was my thinking back then. And so we go for a grant, but it's a little cheap library grant, $5,000, library grant. And it was supposed to get that. It was supposed to purchase the camera and the video clips and stuff like that and recorder. But you know, the way the grant works, it takes about a year and a half to be sent off, get approved, come back. And by then, this was 1984, 85, by then, the administrators came. So out with one council and incoming news. When that happened, back in them days, whatever the older ones did, it's no good no more. So that project died out. It didn't get good. That's to say, but they got the equipment, the grant, and they got equipment all over what they did with it. They did do the language. So anyway, so time passed, but we'll always had that in mind. Again, probably 2010, 2011, 10 years ago.
Is this a class or what? Are we in class? Or does anybody hear me?
Rita, we are. Go ahead, Barbara.
Go ahead. Thank you. He took us to a meeting to listen in. I'm not sure what they're discussing. If anybody knows and want to fill it in.
One night, everyone would get on the chalkboard here and go over
Chair down there.
See you guys later.
Relationships,
how you're related, how we're related, all that stuff like that. Next time they went in and spilled over into making stuff. So let's make things. So got a roach making class, try to get some of our Ponca women come in here to each try to make Indian dresses. Then we just try to cover it. And that's a big part of what we're here. Anyway, so that's what happened. Then that died out pretty soon. We started up again one more time and tried to get it in state work. Started up again, same thing. Got excited for visual now. So then in the meantime, he passed away. They would pass away. Lewis gets old. You don't want to do that no more. You don't have the energy stamina to do that anymore. And since those guys are gone, those were what I laid off. So we're back to where think of our Ponca language as a person who's on the life support. Maybe shocking. That's where we're at with our language. The speakers now, my grandson here, he speaks with, I don't think he's fluent yet, or yet. Well, and Lewis, but he like I said, he's energized. He's not energized for Sherman the other things. We don't want to teach them. So we're down. We don't have it. So we got a little small grant, little grant to the ANA program. And what this grant is, that's why I was saying, this ain't like what maybe y'all are thinking about to begin with. And so this little grant is just, it's not, nobody don't get paid off of it. It's little board members. and it calls for a person, they would call him a project director, to be the one gathering all the information, resources. We know they're out there. We have a lot of resources out there. We have a lot of hate recordings of our old people out there speaking Ponca, and they cover everything. Insects, birds, animals, plants, everything. The human body, from head to toe, they name everything. We have all of that, all of what we need to put it all together. So that's kind of what this little grant's about. And so we're trying to find, and we're behind on it. This started in October, so we're already 6 months behind on this grant. And so I'm trying to think, man, who can we get to be that contact person to at least get this thing going? So I try to think of different ones. Probably nobody around here. So I said, there's no position to try to get somebody on the outside if they want to get paid. And the same as this is a paid position. And him and I can't do it because we're already on the council, so we don't have time to do this. Well, let's get somebody who's already an employee here that could just be the contact person to see it going. So that's what I appointed Bruce John. He's not a speaker, and he knows that, but the reason why we got him is to be able to be the person to contact, to gather all those information. We got two professors down OU, one down OU and one at that going over museum. They have a lot of resources, so they're ready to come up here whenever we're ready for it. To put it all together, get it all together. So the first little project goal is to develop a little school curriculum for kids like these ones here, the Head Start, just a little school curriculum for the beginners. Develop that and then develop beginners for adults. So all of us will start from the beginning, how to say count to 10, how to say the little words of the beginning curriculum. Those are the two projects out of this. And out of this, and out of all the resources that we're going to gather and do this project, we start this curriculum and we're hoping that by the end of this project here, that we'll have enough resources to develop and train ourselves, I guess you might say, train ourselves to be able to start to begin. Well, pretty soon we'll get to the point where some of us become good teachers. Some of us can become good teachers. Already, probably sometime this year, we'll be very down. I'm trying to think of side. I'm looking at here, like next to the power zone. That's what I'm looking at. So we're trying to see, we got a lot of areas, there's tribal areas in the plan too. But the way the law works, I think with our share, and then I think we need 3 more people that are areas that sign on with us. We can realistically our whole new focus in that. And the best area could be over here at some point. That's the first point. So it'll take about 9 months to finish. And so with the youth cultural center, it'll be dedicated just for this kind of stuff. Cultural stuff. Language, hopefully the local resource stuff, artifacts, maybe people want to donate stuff. So it'll be just something that's cool. It'll go from there. That's the goal. So this is just the beginning. Little project here. So that's what this meeting is about, to let y'all know. I know you probably thought of this different thinking, and we're going to start a class tonight, but that's not what we're doing. Just let you know what we're going to do. But we will, as we go along, there's other things besides language is the most important one. But like I said, we don't have enough yet. We could teach y'all, but we all have to kind of learn together. But there's other aspects of culture that we could do in the meantime, since we'll be doing the language part of it, and other types of culture, like singing, songs, and other values, principles that our old people often live by. So that's culture. Culture, the definition of culture means everybody believing, doing the same thing. Well, we'll probably never get to that point in by Ponca. We have too many different beliefs. We have too many religious denominations. You know, some of our people are Methodist, some of them are Baptist, some are Nazarene, some of them are Ponca with Catholic, some are different. But not everything. Some belong to the church. So each one of them all have different beliefs. Even our tribe, each clan has a different responsibility. Each of our clans have their own specific duties that they've done. Even as a tribe, we have certain things, but then even families have their own family values, family understanding and stuff. So the last time we had our classes here, that's what I try to tell everybody, that nobody is entirely right. Nobody knows that, not one person knows everything. But everybody together, we all have enough that we can all share. So there's nobody wrong. Nobody's wrong either. So nobody knows everything. If somebody's wrong, if somebody has something to share from what they heard, like what I got and this. That's not wrong. Right. So put it all together. And that's what makes that our total culture, like our behavior, our attitude, all those kinds of aspects of culture, our relationships with one another, how we address each other, how we talk to each other. So all those things are part of the overall culture of the tribe people. So those are just as important. Those are just as important as the language. So the language just encompasses all of that. Everything together. So that's what this is. That's what this is about. All right. Culture, philosophy of the people. If we feel it's how they think, how they view the world, language, culture, define and reflect, attitudes, values, people. That's what it means. So that's what it is. Attitude, ceremony, dances, understanding. That's kind of where we're at. Just in the beginning stages of the main purpose is to have this meeting with y'all, let you know about the little project, this small project, so they can lead to other things. And when we're doing this again, like I said, that you guys are interested, but I hope the other 3 times that we did it, and we tried, you know, and we just give me an example. We're not the only tribe that was leading. Back in 1986, got here at Ponca tribe. There's an old man, Truman David. Well, I was old. Remember him that he was a real prestigious elderly person. Well, we respected. We had full of knowledge of the cultural, the values, the principles, the old way of life. Just the walking library. They tried down there. They wanted to have same thing. Language, cultural word. Losing our language. So he agreed. He was an old man. I was that. He agreed to sit down. Not really wanted to learn also. But they had to be cultural before you know. But that first night, they said that whole culture was full. Every old culture falling out of the grass and everybody, they need to learn. They talked, told us everything like that. Talked there. Next day, half of them come. Third time, nobody came. He got upset. He kind of got upset. But you know what he said? These darn Otos, they want to be instant Otos. They want to learn the language, be an Oto language speaker in just one day. But what did he leave by that? I mean, you can't do that. It's a lifetime commitment. You got to live it. You kind of look, that house you. You got to live it. You got to live it. Coach, that's what you want. You got to live it, understand it, read it, practice. That's what we had. It's sorry to say those 3 times we had it here, that's the song. Everybody's interested, they want to find out. They can't learn it or they can't catch it 2 or 3 times. And all heck what it says. It's not important. It's got to be important. Do it. So fizzled out. So we started off with 20 or 30. Pretty soon we started whittling down to just 5 or 6. And that affects the people who try to teach, because it affects them. Nobody don't want to learn. It gets to you too. So I pulled out. A few years later, we tried it again, same way. A lot of people came over time. 3 times. So this is the 4th time for me that we're going to do it again. But this time, I'm handicapped because I don't have 2 guys that I had before. Those 2 can speak it, where I can't. I can't speak it. With those 2 guys being gone, I don't hear it now. You got to hear it all the time. My brothers talk to me all the time. I can understand it. I can speak a little bit. Lewis, I don't get to see him very much. Another one just call me like every other day. Julian, my son, you call me. Oh, that's what you call for. I got to say something. I knew she could talk in this. Oh, maybe she was. And when I start really trying to say, not necessarily. So she's no longer here. So what I'm saying is that, and this is something that when you grasp it, learn it, you gotta follow up with it all the time, every day. Otherwise, lose interest. And then it can be done. Most cities the same way. They thought went out with them. They done this what we're getting ready to do. We're ahead of us now a few years. And now that's what they start off like this slow, develop this curriculum, develop some ways to bind it. Ones like this, these kids, they're gonna learn by learning how to bind it. Well, that's not the older ones will probably I hear it. So that's the stage where we're at. So that's what we do, learn how to bind it. Lewis already kind of got a bind critics, they call it. How to bind the words. And it's grammar, it's like going back to school, elementary grammar. That's what you can think back in your elementary days when you're in first grade, when you took grammar, vowels, pronouns, noun, vocabulary, you can use it, the syllables and all that. That's when it's cleaning thing. Really like Chinese to me, I could have to learn that too. I'm going to be the learning will be this one. So what I'm saying is that my language isn't good. I consider myself everything else. I know a lot about our stories. I know a lot about our history. I know a lot about our relations. A lot about the values, principles. I know all that other stuff. Language. Well, I know that. move further and further away every day, so I don't hear. So I'm anxious for them too. So that boost your level, boost. I was telling them about the project, how you come about with it, contact person, get all the information, resources, and put it all together. And I think that's already. Did you already do something for the Kickstart? Yeah, that's the app that you do it too. Some of that. April thing. Next month. They want to help us develop an application process. So it's like this, happen here. The words are already there. Then there's other people that have done like that. They have a resource. The next time they meet, we'll invite this out. It's all you. How to go in there. They're willing to have to put all this together. I think they or to start off there. Y'all are still interested. You'll come back. I'll just put it all together. Then from there, I said, as we go, then it's what I'm going to leave it up to you all. What do you all want? What do you want to study along with language? We can all learn the language together. Somebody that sounds advanced like him, but they don't. It'd be boring to hear him just sitting on the beginning. That's the rest of it. We'll be kind of learning and catching up with it, hopefully. But aside from that, when we meet, we go on and step like that. With any other thing that you'll talk about, subjects or something like say next time. Okay, let's talk about the relationship. We'll spend an hour on that. I'm sure we'll do it. Our men's side and women's side different and how they related. That's like that's why we call it was like this one. Grandma didn't. Well, how did that happen? Well, we can explain it. Not like that. Want to learn? Let's just example. Next one. What about old saying that? Do you get an example? I heard this from, and a lot of these things I heard myself. I heard old people say it. To me, they were old. I mean, they had old people too. But one, and if you can imagine, God, they are people. They shit like the old days, back when, say, 200 years ago or back. We had an old form of government rule. How we ruled ourselves and how we respected ourselves and how we interacted with each other. That's total culture there back then. So one of the and they were led by a strict adherence to principles and unwritten laws. There was a law that you broke those laws. They had their attendant police, rebuttal police, they call it, to enforce the law. And sometimes they would break the law. They would do it by standing, maybe tie you up to a tree so everybody could see you, and they because the country by embarrassed. Sometimes they tie up a tree like that. And the people were with it. Depending on what it was, what laws broke, that's so nobody broke the law. So we didn't have no need or no jail or nothing like that. But one strict law, and I was thinking to myself, man, that must have been hard for a person to stand up and talk. But one law they had back in the days, Ponca always had these certain people within the tribe who could stand up and talk. So when the tribe was gathered, when like the whole tribe would come, like a big council or something important, and at that time only certain men were at the right to stand up and talk. Everybody would listen. Nobody would, even if they kids and babies would put pride. That's how much respect that they would give that person whoever would sit up and talk. So we all knew that back then they knew who the rightful ones was that talk. And if you wasn't of that group of men at the top, there was stipulation or process you have to prove yourself to before you can set up a talk. Like if all you guys were speakers, I'm sitting over here, but I have something to say, you gotta come up with a whole tribe like that and say you guys are all chiefs or basically or important people on the tribe. You don't have to be a chief. If somebody in the tribe that everybody respects. Well, you know, like we talking, but then I had something on my mind that I wanted to tell everybody. So I was of course talking to Ponca, so I wanted to say something. So they were one of them probably trying to be say, and I probably wide out things kind of very top. So this person they said they had to there was four stages that you had to go through to think of yourself able good enough to talk. First stage they said before you can talk, they said look yourself over. In other words, self-evaluate yourself. And I said, okay, if nobody knows yourself but you have these secrets within yourself, hidden secrets, whether good or bad, shameful or not shameful. We have your own secrets that no one else knows. So they said, you look yourself over, from inside and out. And when you look yourself over, you think to yourself, well, I'm okay. I'm all right. But before you talk, you must have a wife. Or you look at your wife, you look at her the same way. You look at all of her good and bad, and you evaluate her. That's her. Same way. You do that four times. When you get through with her, you think, well, she's all right, I can talk. You know, next day, you look at the kids, children, what kind of children you evaluate it the same way. You do all of that. You do all those things, those three. And after all of that, come back to yourself again together, or you guys all right. You still think, yes, I passed all of that. And then the things you talk. Then when you do talk, it's still there. Say whatever you say, that ain't not those words. Strict rules. I'm gonna get past the first stage. I wouldn't have to like to talk. I know what I've got. I know what I've done. I know the shameful things I've done. I know. So I couldn't pass that first stage. The football was getting back there. That's how strict are open for it. But that was the guide. I said we want to figure that out. That was the guide on how they live, how they respect it from them. They don't want to lose their place. Well, today all that's gone. But it's still there. It depends on how much of our old ways we really want to bring back. Do we want to bring that back? If we do, ain't nobody can be able to talk. So those are just little things like that. Stories, if you all want to hear stories, I got a lot of stories like that. So if you want to hear stuff like that. To me, that helps. It's over the years helped me keep my place, I guess, with my safe place. There's a lot of times I want to step down, revert back to my old ways of being honest. And here's stuff like that. Keeps me quiet a lot of times, keeps my trouble, keeps me doing stuff. Doing something stupid. I'm glad I heard stuff. But I got a lot of stories like that to share with it. Like if anybody can suppose things, little things like that, Thomas said, aside from the language that you all want to learn things. Or singing one day in time to sing. Lewis said he's all for that whenever we want to sing with something for. We have so many songs and you're proud of being humble for all the stuff things that we have. No one else has. But it's going to be gone too. We don't practice it. Listen to it. So those are the kind of stuff that aside from the beginning language skills and this struggle that we beginning do other things along with it. You know, when you know. All right, if I understand, but got a question? Anybody need me to go back over this again? If y'all understand. I was telling them, right, this the beginning, this is just the beginning language project that we're doing. The same lesson like we've done in the past, try to do everything at once. We're gonna take this down into phases. By the good life, we're gonna put together a resource. Put together legal. Put together a resource. This is not, this is put together a resource of our language. School curriculum for Head Start, beginning language for Head Start. We go to kids, teach them, you know, very basic words, hello, goodbye, stuff like that, how to count the kid and stuff like that. They can be basically. And after that's the beginning. Then we can develop a beginning ones for adults, for beginning learning. Some words we probably already know, but so we repeat them more and more. And then by that time, this one runs out for another bigger grant. And I was telling them that we already have the money set aside. We are going to deal with trouble. They are put them to the side. We got the other things that hopefully won't have to take that. But it's already there. We are going to get it to the focus. We'll put it separate. And that will help all of the things that collect. And there's the people on the outside too that have them, but they're just waiting for us to get something like that. I already had people call me and say, hey, whenever y'all get your own building, own the culture center, I have some things I want to give us a try. They don't want to do it, they're trying to count them. I told them, oh, don't get it. When we go, when I go, just make it all good. My house. So we'll give it to the building, when the building comes, we'll do it, how will be there. So there's people out there that have stuff, have old writings, old recordings, old that out there. That's coming down the line. In the meantime, we've got to do that project. So the next time we meet, whenever y'all want to meet, next week or every week or every other week, the next time we meet, we'll have those people from OU down how this get started on development. We got some words, but we got an app coming in the next month. You know, the people are going to come down and then we'll put things into that app application. Put songs in there, put some songs and other stuff on that app, words, so people can just get on that app to be able to hear comfort. Songs, all that. Those are two things that I just want at the same time. So I was telling them we're not going to do like we did before because our guys are gone now. Like Edward's gone. Lewis is too old. We don't have energy to. Doesn't put the book out. So you know, trying to talk with read the book. But he's on and I was falling. So that's where we at. So I told him this is that last gas effort that we need to do our language. Price support, you know, we got to shock it into life. And all that's going to be done is us. We got to do it. Like how you guys meet to me, don't entirely depend on me. I'm the same way, that all day work, all day stress, and when I get home, sometimes I just want to. I go to coffee. Oh, man. Well, even though I like it to run it, it's hard to get really motivated. So something you be depending on you guys too, to carry it through. So, to keep it going. Sports is to keep it going. Running, visit, speak. Real impressed, like I said the other day with Ogo dance, Ogo dance so good, probably sometimes young men are just like 25 to 30, not able to play for them. All those things. And I'm pretty, they just stop it now. 10 years ago, they've already got a lot of safety, literally, but very nice. Well, we didn't get there. So I'm determined, so hope you guys are where we're at. So, but Bruce is going to be the contact person. I didn't get in because the fluid speakers, and I got, we needed somebody who could be point of contact, collect all of the things that we got reports about, and we got this contract. We can make sure that all the efforts that we have to make this work. And it begins at school too. That's a good start. Head Start kids learn the Head Start director. All the agreed to that. All the way waiting on is for us to do it. Be ready to get there. Now we want to discuss future. Do it right. All of it, eventually all the things there, you want to get to the point where all of we're going to teach employees, all of our employees will start doing partnerships. Small, start off with especially just meet each other, they can call each other by names or anything like that. Stuff like that. And then they can buddy at first, they may be incorrect, but they will correct their style to go along. Whatever we do, we don't want to make fun of anybody if they say it's wrong. We're all learning. We're like a real pitiful state. For those of them that know how to speak, if we say something wrong, we want to overlook this correctly. Correct this, which is what makes you not good. Other ones that are out, we run into a shirt and do it if somebody wants to correct this. Good way. Well, if I have something I hear you guys say, I'll say, no, this is what I know something. The more I hear it, it's going to come back. It's like now, it's just dormant. Once I hear it, it's back. So that's the first order. Anything want to say?
Last month we had a meeting with the people who are in charge of the grants. They're all people that are attending classes for the whole entire United States. And the main thing we're trying to figure out that's way to move forward with everything that they're supposed to all the private there. Probably already behind. So with everybody else that's starting the class. We're able to push our grant day and day further. We're able to help each other move along and share things about language that we want to do. Working people just getting ideas sometimes. And it's the best way to speak and things like that. So it's going to be like this, we just put on stuff that's like easier for it. And I can write ideas and that, oh, I didn't do that. I about quick ways to learn it. They made little videos, common videos that we all know. They put the Indian language in it. The little kid may see a video that he already seen, like TikTok. TikTok replays everything, same video, same words, and the same thing. You get the same video, but you want the words there. And little kids, will pick it up like a song in here on a radio. You don't actually listen to the little words or see them. You hear it. That was the thing that I liked about it. Well, yes, we could do that. So I know people who like the background, we that on video, like thinking he's going to help that and stuff like that. That's something that we can add to helping them learn. It's a good thing. I'm excited. I'm just excited about video. Here to help move us along and do what we can. Brother, what we're going to do here.
And this is going to be different from the last time. The last time was, the last 3 times we tried it, we kind of depended on interest of everybody. So when everybody kind of quit coming and realized it. But this is going to be different. This is going to happen regardless if you all don't come no more. We put this together, we develop the resources, we get all the resources together, people can help us structure it, put it in a good, like a school setting structure. So scholars can bring somebody thinking to the art. They get done, they will place it into that new building. So people like that people come home or something, you can go over there, or stay at home, whatever, however it's set up. Listen to conference, talk back and forth. That's where it has started. There's a go. So this is how this one, this particular grant and process for the world. It'll be available, get it all completed, all of the recordings we have, for people to have to put it together in a structural manner, like a grammar structure or curriculum, will be able to piece and forward, beginning stages, intermediate stages, to master stages, to one day, and then all of that. So the steps of this place, this is going to be the first step. So it's going to happen. But along the way, you have a lot of input in it. Like I said, we can run along with it. We can talk about other things that go along with it. But like I said, the language is the spirit of our thinking. The people, it's our spirit. So by going with that, what we can learn all of that, live it, get it into consistent. When you speak, you speak patterns, all of that. Connection. The big surprise out of it makes you feel. Yeah, like that. Same. Once you learn my language, hear what the songs are about, how they come about, feel that rhythm of that jumping, rhythm of that song, feeling that goes with it, and that you understand the drum, you understand the surroundings, you get all of that understanding, so that it's real. It's real. Right now, we hear this song and drum. This is not all of it. All that stuff together. That's what makes it good. Singers making it sing. People on the outside can get healed, but they're not going to get healed if nobody knows what to do. They know what to do, done that good, know these songs, filter it down. But there's a lot to me, it's exciting. To me, it's fun. I hope you all hear that same movie to really honestly watch what you learn. So that's all I got. This first night was just kind of like an introduction. what this is all about. So, it's a good day to meet. I mean, what I get out of it. Got Monday, so it's good. If they can do tonight, when you do it, Thursday night. Yeah, that way you can plan more. Yeah, like burning up. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. So 2 weeks from today will be fine. Yeah, that's it. We'll make that one fit. That's 6 o'clock. Yeah. 6 o'clock, and that's time all have refreshments. We don't take problems. We'll have to let those refreshments. That's just we have to play. So,